A proud businessman and homeowner is in a time crunch to finish a project for work, but his time is consumed by the pursuit of a rat in George P. Cosmato's Of Unknown Origin. Now, we didn't really know about this movie, most of us, but the mere fact that RoboCop is fighting a damn rat in it was reason enough for us to pursue seeing it, and we did, thanks to you. That's right, the return of Senor Spielbergo, who, visited us on our other channel. Check that out, $10 Slammer. Just putting the plug there.
Yep.
Anyway, first things first. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Good to be back. Good to be back with you fine folks to watch some gems, underrated gems.
Some rats in action.
Yeah.
Rat horror. So let's get this going, guys. For anyone who doesn't know, this movie was directed by the man that brought us such classics, B classics in some respects.
Oh, yeah.
As Rambo 2, Leviathan, what other ones? I rattle off some more.
Cobra.
Cobra.
Yeah, maybe the
perennial classic.
for the holidays.
Yeah. Suffice it to say, this is a movie that's garnered some cult success, and we're wondering why. And we found out. I'd say there's probably more pros and cons for me in this than anything. I don't know if that's a consensus across the board here, but I just got to say right off, I ended up liking this more than I thought I was going to like it. And again, the mere concept alone made me want to like it, so that says a lot. But anyway, let's start off with pro number one for me. It's Rat versus RoboCop.
True.
Immediate fucking pro. Guntik, what's a pro for you in this little flick?
Rat versus RoboCop, and also fake ass rats. I'm a fan of fake ass rats, rat puppets. So it was pretty great to see rat puppets in my rat horror.
Yeah, normally kind of ratty, pun intended, I guess. Kind of ratty effects would be negative, a con. I'm sorry, but that kind of adds to the charm of this.
It does.
There's a mishmash of effects here. They use a real rat at times. They use prosthetics at times, puppets. It's all there, and it's not very well edited together, per se. But you know what? It steals nothing of the charm of the movie away or the drive of it. In fact, kind of made me enjoy it a little bit more.
I think it's what you're reacting to, that it's kind of meant to be staccato. I think it's supposed to be that, so I like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially with the rat effects, the really macro shots of its feet, and oh my god, it's just it's really gross
disgusting,
and disturbing, but it really adds to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. Oh, and going hand in hand with that is, I think the movie really sells the, not only the grotesque nature of rats, but the threat of them, the potential threat of them, not only to this one person's personal stability and mental state, but to humanity. So you kind of get a good feeling of why this would be a dangerous situation, as silly as some of the circumstances are here. But, I think that was another good point of view right there. Let's start with you. Another pro.
The tone, because the movie's really absurd, but the premise is absurd, but it knows that, and it's still able to make you laugh and highlight the absurdity, but walk the line of that tone, where it's it's still threatening and menacing, but the dinner scene where he has a dinner. Peter Weller has a dinner with a bunch of his co-workers or his fellow executives or whatever at a really posh dining room or whatever, and they're just talking about business stuff, and he just goes in. He's been researching rats all day, and he just goes in about rat phenomena, rat factoids and stuff like that. And it's really funny, the whole thing. So it introduces things like that to keep that tone going.
Yeah, it does handle humor quite well. It doesn't shy away from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think is a stroke of genius, really, to save the movie from being a complete, dumpster fire or a laughing stock. In fact, it saves the day for it and carries it a little bit above whatever we normally think of it. Another pro, hit us with another one, Guntik.
I like that guy that he talks with.
Yeah,
Cletus,
the superintendent.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He was pretty great.
Yeah, if you need a rat killing tricks or conspiracy theories about rats, that's the guy to go to. And it feels like somebody more of a character actor could have played him. I mean, not to say that guy was ass, but you could see a number of character actors playing that guy just as a Paul Giamatti or something, or Belushi back in the day, like you said. Yeah, pretty cool guy. Shannon Tweed was kind of a con for me, but I'm just saying that. I like, you kind of alluded to this, but the movie itself alludes to comparisons to like Moby Dick and The Old Man by the Sea. I mean, they're pretty blatant, the comparisons, and it's
Yeah.
trying to say
Not
something.
very subtle.
Not very subtle.
The book is there used as a blunt instrument.
But it's interesting to note that the director was a collector of classic literature to his dying day. A lot of first editions and stuff like that. So, it makes it all the more evident that he was going for something, despite kind of like the B nature of the material. He went for something bigger. And yes, while it's blunt at times, I think that was very intentional. I mean, I'm pretty sure, I hope. But I also went hand in hand with how well they established our main character and what his home means to him and what the invasion of this rat potentially poses to what, again, because the home means like it's indicative of his status, it's indicative of his achievements, his intelligence, his security or lack thereof. So to compare it to these two pieces of literature really adds substance to it, where normally we wouldn't have substance. It would just be a fucking rat horror movie, So again, for some damn reason, like dog horror, there's a lot of rat horror movies. This one stands above the crowd, namely one, because the other rats are short compared to this big bastard, but two, because it actually, strives to be art on top of being, B-grade fun.
Totally.
Let's talk about unless you guys got more
pro.
prawns. Yeah, go ahead.
I got a pro. The name is pretty great.
Yeah.
It's up there with rat horror classics of yore.
No matter how crappy the rat horror movie is, they always got great names, and this one happens to be a good one with a great name.
Yeah.
So, keeping that tradition alive.
The only name that would have been better would be RoboCop versus Rats.
Yeah, but I don't think he had done RoboCop then.
That's
so
all right.
People would have been like, "What? What does that mean?"
Time travel.
Yeah, exactly. You'd have to go back and plan it.
Spielbergo, you got any extra pros?
Any extra pros? I don't know. Like the music was really good. It was really freaky and yeah, it was like a collaborator of John Williams, one of his collaborators.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And when I saw his name, I was like, oh yeah, I think he's done other scores. I'm not 100% sure, but it was definitely it was appropriate and it was memorable and stuff like that, and it kept the tone scary, kept the tone,
Yeah, I agree,
absurd when it needed to be.
It sure as hell beat the score for the movie we saw previous to it. Shit!
Oh, Jesus.
We won't mention which one, but
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
To be fair, farts at this point would have been better than that score. But thankfully, farts, this is not.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the cons, guys. Not many for me personally. Cons for you?
There was several rat-size inconsistencies that kind
Sure.
of bothered me.
Okay.
Like he's running through the wall and the nails are like this big next to him, but he's supposed to be like a freaking dog-sized rat. I'm like, oh, unless those were the biggest nails known to man, this rat is changing sizes constantly. But that's a nitpick more than anything.
Yeah.
Sure,
I do enjoy my rat puppet, so it's all right.
Just to go in hand with your rat con. Wait a minute, isn't that
Retcon the Ratcons.
yeah, just to go in hand with that, man. There's a little rat baby death scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh man,
Hey,
and the
dude.
cat, a cat
Oh
dies.
yeah, that's
The
my
cat.
con. That's my
I
con.
could have. I want to put the pro. The cat dying is a pro for me, but the little baby rats dying were sad.
Okay.
Well, we'll make sure to get you some damn rats for Christmas.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what the real
And a cat
con.
to have him eat.
Yeah. The real fucking con for me, the big one was, and don't get me wrong, this really like yours a nitpick. I'm just being an asshole at this point because I can't find cons really. It's this fucking kid.
Oh,
The main character here has a kid that sucks and
Moron.
deserves to die, and thankfully we get a glimpse of him dying, courtesy of a rat. So
Yeah.
I mean, well, not a rat, but the accoutrement of destroying rats. So I'm all for kid deaths in horror
Yeah,
movies,
you are.
especially if they're annoying turd kids.
Yeah.
But he could have been worse. He could have been like that kid from the
Yeah.
Shining miniseries. So
Yeah.
at least we were spared that.
Very true.
But of course, I'm just being an idiot and nitpicking. That really wasn't a con. A con for you?
Yeah, I don't have too many beyond that, beyond the cat death too. Yeah, like I think you mentioned like Shannon Tweed. Like this was her introduction, and she went on to like be a porn actress,
like
right,
a
or
soft
whatever.
porn.
I mean, she wasn't in it enough to derail the movie or anything, and she was basically there for eye candy, like especially during a dream sequence. But I don't know. They probably could have filled it in with someone better who might have elicited more sympathy beyond.
Beyond the wooden acting.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was looking for a way to put it. That's the way to put it. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. So anyway, all in all, this movie I think turns out pretty great across the board here. I think we've agreed on that. Now, for most viewers, this won't be their cup of tea. Let's just face it. We're horror fans here to begin with, cult movie fans. So it definitely was up our alley. There is a pace to it that some people might not like. Let's be honest. So if you have the attention span of a gnat, probably stay away from this and get the attention span of a rat, which is much better. But yeah, man, let's sum it up. Final thoughts, final score on a scale 1 through 10. Guntek, hit us with your final thoughts.
This movie should have sucked my ding-a-ling, but it was actually pretty enjoyable. I just wish there was a little more hand-to-hand rat combat, because that would have been awesome. Maybe a little Matrix rat in. No, you know what? I take back the Matrix rat. It's perfect as it is. I don't want Matrix rat. I'll give it a 7.
Pretty good.
Awesome.
Spielbergo, give us your final thoughts on Sport.
Yeah, final thoughts. I was delighted to come upon it. Like, I try to show it and mention it to anyone I can, especially if they don't like rats. I want to torture them with this movie. You know, like, I know a lot of people who don't, so I figure that it'll be nice to watch them squirm. I loved it. I only have nitpicks, so I give it like a 9 out of 10.
And man, I'm glad that you had this, because I mean, I don't really see myself having another way to see it short of illegally downloading it, which I don't want to do unless I absolutely have to. And,
Venom.
Venom was one that we were glad we downloaded because it was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But the point is, I'm really glad you brought this across the old TV for me to enjoy. Yeah, man, aside from like a few nitpicks, not much to say other than I loved it. I want to see more rat horror out there for some reason. I'll give it a solid 7.5, man. Surprisingly enjoyable, a fun time. Check this movie out if you're a fan of rat horror, I guess, or RoboCop. Yeah, man, tell us what you think about it. Hit like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more reviews from us.
Rats.